College affordability is a crisis. It's a crisis that negatively impacts opportunity for post-secondary access and success, which in turn affects all areas of our society, ranging from impeding our nation's ability to provide a skilled workforce pipeline and how we achieve equitable economic growth. While there are many areas to address around college affordability, I want to turn our attention to the burden of student housing costs. The US Department of Housing and Urban Development has recently found that housing instability influences college student behavior, such as enrolling part-time and having to take on work while in school, which adds to a student's overall time to degree. A longer time to degree can significantly add to the cost of degree completion through both the additional payments of cost of attendance and the opportunity cost of foregoing potential earnings. These factors, of course, impact students' ability to even graduate. Housing affordability issues are also widespread. In 2019, the California Student Aid Commission conducted a survey across the state's college students, finding that a full one-third of the respondents shared that they don't have enough resources to cover housing and utilities, and relatedly, 35% were classified as housing insecure. A solution directly addressing housing costs should be preferred over what is perhaps the most politically active proposal for college affordability currently, student debt cancellation. And this is because several experts have argued that debt cancellation does not necessarily shrink the racial wealth gap, and that debt relief would end up distributing the vast majority of support to the top 20% of income earners. Therefore, I propose a policy solution that builds upon an established foundation that already primarily serves our nation's low to middle income students. Specifically, I propose that the federal Pell Grant Program should be reformed into a split grant program to provide a more tailored support of students' housing needs in a manner that does not diminish their support for tuition and fee needs. By way of background, the federal Pell Grant Program, established in 1965, was designed to be the core foundation of financial aid for higher education students from low to middle income families. In the previous academic year, Pell served nearly 7 million undergraduates with a maximum award amount of about $6,200 per recipient. 70% of all recipients in 2016 had annual family incomes below $30,000. While the maximum Pell Grant Award has increased over the previous 4 decades, Pell has not kept pace with rising tuition costs, nor with the total cost of attendance, which include housing and board. The steady increase of room and board costs have affected the enrollment decisions and outcomes of low-income students. Today, Pell is no longer the primary source of financial aid. In 2017, Pell Grants covered only 29% of the average cost of attendance, far below the 79% it covered in 1975. 2 ambitious proposals for college affordability through Pell and other means have been introduced by President Biden and by Senator Sanders and Representative Jayapal. Therefore, there's recognition that a solution should center around Pell, but there's little political agreement on how best to improve the program. To address with more precision the diminished buying power of Pell from the increased weight of housing costs, my proposal would focus on modernizing the Pell Grant Program to be split into 2 need-based aid awards. Pell Grant A, designed to be used only for tuition, and Pell Grant B, only for housing costs. There are a few reasons why I've proposed this policy solution and in this particular design. First, a federal solution is best to address this problem because colleges calculate the cost of attendance differently, and thereby set aside different percentages of financial aid for housing, even among colleges in the same region. Second, the split award allows for adaptation in the Pell Grant Program to the varied funding and enrollment circumstances of today's students. 2-year and technical programs are typically lower in tuition, and in some states tuition-free, but housing costs associated with attendance remain. As the current lifetime eligibility of Pell is equivalent to 6 academic years, this reform would provide flexibility of use by allowing the split awards to have separate lifetime eligibility requirements. Finally, a split in the awards would better facilitate efforts to increase award amounts at a later date. And this is because policymakers will be able to make future adjustments of either grant award in a more targeted manner. For instance, if average tuition increases more rapidly than housing or vice versa. In closing, federal Pell Grants are designed to support the neediest college students, but has not kept pace with the cost of attendance for students who most rely on need-based aid. A reformed Pell program that provides both tuition and housing support separately would reduce barriers to college completion for the most financially disadvantaged students towards increasing the number of college graduates. Furthermore, this reform would provide tailored support through greater precision by addressing separately the growing housing burden on students' opportunity for college access and success. Thank you.